My beloved child, there were moments recently when you truly thought you were falling apart. Moments where your emotions became too heavy to carry. Moments where your thoughts felt loud, tangled, and exhausting. Moments where you looked at your own life and quietly wondered, what is happening to me? You tried to stay strong. You tried to keep functioning normally. You tried to smile through the pressure, but inside, something was collapsing. And what frightened you most was not the pain itself. It was the feeling that you were losing control. My child, I know how terrifying that season felt. I know there were nights where you laid awake emotionally drained, unable to explain the storm happening inside your spirit. I know there were days when even simple things felt difficult. You became tired of carrying invisible battles nobody else could see, and because others could not fully understand your pain, you suffered silently. But hear me carefully now. What you called a breakdown was actually the beginning of your transformation. Romans 12:2 says, "Be transformed by the renewing of your mind." Transformation is not comfortable. It often feels like confusion before clarity, loss before growth, breaking before rebuilding. Because before I can bring you into a new season, the old version of you must begin falling away. And my child, that process can feel painful, especially when your identity has been built around survival for so long. You spent years becoming whoever people needed you to be. You learned how to hide your wounds, how to silence your emotions, how to carry pressure quietly, how to ignore your own exhaustion while helping everyone else survive theirs. But eventually, your soul became too tired to continue pretending, and the cracks started showing. You became emotionally overwhelmed more easily. You started pulling away from noise. You stopped feeling connected to things that once distracted you. And for a while, you thought something was wrong with you. But my beloved, your spirit was trying to awaken you, because you cannot enter a new season while carrying the same mindset that nearly destroyed you in the last one. Something had to break. The fear had to break. The false identity had to break. The addiction to approval had to break. The belief that your worth depended on pleasing everyone had to break. And yes, breaking hurts, especially when parts of you became attached to the very things slowly destroying your peace. But listen carefully now. This next part matters deeply. The enemy wanted your breakdown to become your ending. He wanted exhaustion to convince you that your future no longer mattered. He wanted disappointment to make you stop believing. He wanted heartbreak to make you emotionally shut down completely. He wanted your pain to isolate you from me. But what darkness meant for destruction, I am turning into transformation, because hidden underneath the exhaustion, a new version of you was being formed. A stronger version, a wiser version, a spiritually awakened version. The version of you that finally stops abandoning itself for temporary acceptance. The version of you that values peace more than performance. The version of you that no longer needs constant validation from people to remember its worth. That version is emerging now, slowly, quietly, powerfully. And yes, part of transformation feels lonely because not everyone will recognize who you are becoming. Some people only knew the wounded version of you, the over-giving version, the version that tolerated disrespect just to avoid rejection, the version that stayed silent to keep the peace. But now, you are changing, and transformation makes old environments uncomfortable. That is why certain conversations drain you now. That is why your spirit reacts differently around certain people. That is why your soul feels restless in places where it once felt numb. You are awakening, and awakened spirits cannot comfortably live inside old patterns forever. My child, do not fear the discomfort. The discomfort is proof that growth has already started. Seeds break open before they grow. Wounds ache while they heal. Muscles tear before they strengthen. And spirits often feel overwhelmed before breakthrough arrives. You thought the breaking meant weakness, But actually, the breaking exposed what needed healing. For too long, you carried pain you never processed. You carried rejection from childhood, failure from the past, words spoken over your life by wounded people, memories that quietly shaped the way you saw yourself. And eventually, all that hidden pain began surfacing at once, not because I wanted to punish you, but because I wanted to free you. Healing cannot happen while wounds remain buried forever. So I allowed the hidden pain to rise to the surface. I allowed the emotions you avoided to finally confront you. I allowed your spirit to become restless enough that you could no longer ignore what needed transformation. And I know it overwhelmed you sometimes. I know there were moments you questioned whether you were becoming too emotional, too sensitive, too broken. But hear me now. You are not broken beyond repair. You are being rebuilt. There is a difference. The old foundation could no longer support the future I prepared for you. So I began rebuilding you from within, piece by piece, thought by thought, prayer by prayer. And though the process feels slow, the rebuilding is real. You are already changing in ways you do not fully recognize yet. You think differently now. You notice things differently now. Your spirit discerns differently now. You no longer crave the same distractions. You no longer feel comfortable betraying yourself just to stay connected to people who drain you. And while that transformation feels uncomfortable, it is holy because I am restoring your identity, not the identity fear gave you, not the identity trauma created, not the identity rejection whispered over your life. The identity I created before the world ever wounded you. My beloved child, the breakdown forced you to finally stop running from yourself, and that stillness allowed you to hear my voice more clearly than before. Sometimes I allow isolation because noise has become too loud around your spirit. Sometimes I allow exhaustion because you depended too heavily on your own strength. Sometimes I allow the breaking because pride, fear, or pain built walls around your heart that healing could not enter through any other way. And yes, I know the process hurt, but look at you now. You survived it. The nights that almost destroyed your peace did not destroy you. The fear that tried to consume your thoughts did not consume you. The heaviness that tried to convince you to give up did not win. You are still here, and that matters more than you realize, because many people break and never rebuild. But I never intended to leave you shattered. I intended to rebuild you stronger than before. Stronger spiritually, stronger emotionally, stronger mentally. Not because life will become perfect, but because your spirit will no longer collapse every time storms appear. The rebuilding happening inside you now is permanent, and soon, other people will begin noticing the difference too. They will notice the peace growing inside you, the wisdom growing inside you, the quiet strength forming inside you. They will not fully understand what changed, but you will know. The breakdown led you back to me, and being close to me changes everything. My child, you must stop grieving the old version of yourself now. That version carried too much pain, too much fear, too much emotional exhaustion. You are not meant to return there anymore. A new season is forming around your life. A healthier season, a freer season, a more peaceful season. But you could not enter it carrying the same mindset that once kept you emotionally trapped. So the old version had to break, and now the rebuilding has begun. Isaiah 43:19 says, "Behold, I am doing a new thing." Not someday, now, even while you still feel uncertain. Even while healing still feels incomplete, even while the future remains unclear, I am already creating something new inside you. And one day soon, you will thank me for not allowing you to remain the person you used to be. Because the person emerging from this season is stronger than fear, wiser than pain, closer to me, and finally becoming free. My beloved, your breakdown was never your destruction. It was the doorway into your transformation. And this is only the beginning of who you are becoming. My beloved child, even though you cannot fully see it yet. Something has already started moving behind the scenes of your life, right now, at this very moment. While you sit there wondering whether your prayers are still being heard, while you question whether anything will ever truly change, heaven is already responding. The shift already began, and deep inside, part of you can feel it. That strange tension in your spirit lately, that feeling that something is about to happen, that unexplainable sense that your life is standing on the edge of change. It is not your imagination, it is discernment, because your spirit recognizes movement before your eyes can see evidence. And my child, there are things happening around your life that you cannot yet understand. Doors are quietly being repositioned, people are being moved. Hidden obstacles are being removed from your path. Situations that looked permanently stuck are beginning to shift underneath the surface. But because you cannot see immediate proof, fear keeps whispering, nothing is happening. My beloved, do not mistake silence for inactivity. Some of my greatest miracles begin invisibly. Roots grow underground before trees appear above the surface. Foundations are built beneath the earth before houses rise into view. And the same is true for your life right now. I am building things you cannot yet see. Listen carefully now. This next part matters deeply. You keep asking me for visible signs. But what if I told you the signs already started appearing? The exhaustion that forced you to slow down was a sign. The people who suddenly disappeared were a sign. The doors that unexpectedly closed were a sign. The growing discomfort in old environments was a sign. The awakening happening inside your spirit was a sign. You thought your world was falling apart, but heaven was rearranging your life. And the reason things feel unstable lately is because I am removing what cannot survive where I am taking you next. My child, some structures around your life were built on fear. Some relationships were built on survival instead of peace. Some habits were built around emotional escape instead of healing. And before I could bring you into your next season, the unstable foundation had to be exposed. That exposure feels uncomfortable because truth always disrupts illusions. And many things you once depended on are no longer giving your spirit peace. You can feel it. Things that once distracted you now feel empty. Places that once felt comfortable now feel spiritually heavy. Certain conversations leave your soul exhausted instead of fulfilled. Why? Because your spirit is no longer meant to live where it once settled. You are changing, quietly, deeply, permanently, and transformation creates movement before visible breakthrough arrives. Matthew 3:10 says, "Even now the axe is laid to the root of the trees." Notice the words, even now, not later, now. Even while things still appear unchanged externally, movement has already started internally. And my child, the internal shift always comes before the external breakthrough. That is why your spirit has felt restless lately. I am preparing you emotionally for what is coming, because the blessings approaching your life require a different mindset than the pain you survived. You cannot carry fear into the future I prepared for you. You cannot carry old wounds into new doors. You cannot keep speaking hopelessness while asking me for breakthrough. So I am transforming your thinking first, quietly renewing your mind, quietly strengthening your spirit, quietly rebuilding your confidence in me. And while you think you are waiting, preparation is already happening. My beloved, you have no idea how many times I protected you without your knowledge. There were conversations happening behind closed doors that could have harmed you. There were plans formed against you that never succeeded because my hand blocked them. There were paths you almost walked down that would have broken your peace completely. And while you felt frustrated by delays, I was shielding you. You thought certain opportunities disappearing meant failure. But what if those opportunities would have led you into exhaustion, heartbreak, or destruction? You only saw the disappointment. I saw the danger ahead. That is why I need you to trust me now, even when you cannot see the full picture, because the movement already began, and soon you will see visible evidence of what heaven has been arranging in secret. But before that happens, the enemy will try one last time to convince you nothing is changing. That is why discouragement has attacked your thoughts lately. That is why doubt keeps trying to pull you backward. That is why fear keeps whispering, "What if nothing gets better?" My child, the enemy attacks hardest right before breakthrough becomes visible. Because darkness fears what happens when you finally realize I never abandoned you. Darkness fears the healed version of you, the awakened version of you, the peaceful version of you, the version that no longer lives controlled by fear. And that version is emerging now. You are stronger than you realize. Even after everything you survived, you are still standing. Even after nights filled with anxiety, you are still breathing. Even after disappointments that nearly broke your spirit, you still have enough faith left to keep listening to my voice. That matters more than you know. Because hopeless people stop listening, but your spirit is still searching for me, still reaching toward me, still longing for truth. And that longing itself is proof that my hand is still on your life. My beloved, I need you to stop measuring progress only by visible results. Some of the biggest transformations happening inside you cannot yet be measured externally. Your spirit is becoming stronger. Your discernment is becoming sharper. Your dependence on me is becoming deeper. And those invisible transformations are preparing visible breakthroughs. Soon, you will notice small confirmations appearing around your life. Unexpected peace, unexpected opportunities, unexpected clarity, unexpected restoration. And when those moments arrive, do not dismiss them as coincidence. They are evidence that heaven has already started moving. John 10:27 says, "My sheep hear my voice." You have been hearing me more than you realize. Not always through loud signs, but through gentle convictions, subtle warnings, quiet peace. Inner nudges guiding you away from danger and toward truth. That growing sensitivity inside your spirit is not weakness. It is spiritual awakening. You are becoming more aware of my presence, more aware of what drains your peace, more aware of what aligns with your destiny and what does not. And that awareness will protect your future. Because where I am leading you next, discernment will matter deeply. Not everyone who approaches you belongs near your spirit. Not every opportunity belongs to your destiny. Not every open door comes from me. That is why I allowed the silent season to sharpen your spiritual vision. So you would stop confusing attachment with assignment. Stop confusing emotional intensity with peace. Stop confusing temporary comfort with purpose. My child, you are entering a season where clarity will replace confusion. But before clarity fully arrives, faith must deepen first. Because faith means trusting my movement even before visible evidence appears. And I know that is difficult sometimes. I know part of you still fears disappointment. Part of you still wonders whether breakthrough is truly possible after everything you survived. But listen to me carefully now. I did not carry you this far just to abandon you at the edge of transformation. I did not preserve your life through every storm for nothing. There is purpose attached to your survival. There is meaning attached to your endurance. There is destiny attached to your healing. And heaven is already positioning things around your life accordingly. You may not fully understand it yet, but pieces are moving. Prayers are being answered. Protection is surrounding you. The path ahead is quietly opening. And soon, the things you begged me for in tears will begin appearing one by one in ways you never expected. But my child, do not rush ahead of me. Stay close to my voice. Stay connected to my peace. Stay sensitive to what your spirit feels. Because the movement happening behind the scenes right now is leading you into a completely different season of your life. And when the full picture finally becomes visible, you will realize something that changes everything. I was working the entire time, even in the silence, even in the waiting, even while you doubted, even while you cried, even while you thought nothing was happening. Heaven never stopped moving for you. And my beloved, the breakthrough is closer than you think. My beloved child, I know the waiting nearly broke your heart. There were days you tried to stay hopeful, but deep inside, disappointment slowly started whispering to your spirit. You prayed, you trusted, you waited, and still, nothing seemed to change. The answers did not come when you expected. The doors stayed closed longer than you understood. The breakthrough felt delayed again and again, and eventually, part of you became tired of hoping. Because waiting is painful when you cannot see what heaven is doing, especially when you watch other people receive what you have been praying for, especially when you feel like your life has been standing still while everyone else keeps moving forward. My child, I saw every moment of your frustration. I heard the silent questions inside your spirit. Why is this taking so long? Did I do something wrong? Why does it seem like everyone else is moving ahead except me? And if you are honest, there were moments you wondered whether I forgot about you completely. But hear me carefully now. I never forgot you, not for a single second. The waiting season was never punishment. The waiting season was preparation. Psalm 27:14 says, "Wait for the Lord, be strong and take heart." Notice what waiting produces: strength, not weakness. Because real waiting with me transforms people internally before circumstances change externally. And my beloved, the version of you that first entered the waiting season could not yet carry what you prayed for. You asked me for greater things, but greater things require greater strength. You asked me for open doors, but open doors require wisdom to walk through correctly. You asked me for purpose, but purpose requires emotional maturity, and maturity cannot be rushed. That is why the process felt slower than you wanted, because I care more about preparing you correctly than promoting you quickly. Quick elevation without preparation destroys many people. Many ask for blessings, but few are prepared to sustain them. Many want breakthrough, but not everyone is willing to become the person capable of carrying it. And my child, I love you too much to give you something before your spirit is ready to hold it. That is why some prayers seem delayed. That is why some doors remained closed. That is why certain relationships ended instead of progressing. You thought I was withholding good things from you, but often I was protecting you from receiving things too early. Listen carefully now. This next part matters deeply. You kept thinking the waiting meant nothing was happening. But waiting seasons are never empty. Hidden growth happens there. Character develops there. Discernment sharpens there. Dependency on me deepens there. And the person you are becoming during the waiting season matters just as much as the blessing itself. Because if the blessing arrives before your spirit is healed, you may destroy the very thing you prayed for. So while you were focused on the delay, I was focused on your transformation. I was healing the insecurity inside you, healing the fear inside you, healing the wounds that made you emotionally dependent on things outside my presence. You thought you were only waiting for breakthrough, but breakthrough was waiting for your spirit to mature. And now, you are finally beginning to understand things you could not see before. You are learning how to hear my voice more clearly, learning how to protect your peace, learning how to stop chasing what drains your spirit, learning how to trust me even when visible evidence disappears. That is growth, my child, holy growth. And though it happened slowly, it happened deeply. The world teaches people to chase immediate results, immediate success, immediate comfort, immediate answers. But I often worked differently because deep roots take time to grow, and roots matter more than appearances during storms. Look at Joseph. I gave him dreams long before I fulfilled them. But before the palace came, there was betrayal, false accusations, prison, years of waiting. Can you imagine how confusing that process must have felt? Joseph carried promises from heaven, yet lived in chains. He carried destiny, yet sat forgotten in prison. But the prison was not proof that I abandoned him. The prison prepared him for leadership. Because character developed in hidden places becomes strength in public places later. And my child, your hidden season has been developing strength inside you too. Strength people cannot see yet. Strength that will protect your future. The waiting taught you endurance. It taught you humility. It taught you discernment. It taught you how to survive emotionally difficult seasons without completely losing your faith. That kind of strength cannot be created overnight. It must be formed slowly, quietly, painfully sometimes, but permanently. And now, you are not the same person who first entered this waiting season. You think differently now, pray differently now, discern differently now, you value peace differently now. The old version of you wanted quick answers. The healed version of you wants truth. The old version chased approval. The healed version protects peace. The old version feared loneliness. The healed version understands that my presence is enough to sustain your spirit. Do you see what happened? The waiting changed you. And yes, at times you hated the process. At times you almost gave up. At times you wondered whether your faith still mattered at all. But even during those moments, I was still carrying you, my beloved. There were delays you cried over that eventually saved your life. There were opportunities you begged me for that would have destroyed your peace if they arrived too early. There were people you desperately wanted to stay, who secretly lacked the maturity to walk beside your future. You only saw what was delayed. I saw what needed preparation first. Because timing matters. Even good things become dangerous when received at the wrong time. That is why I need you to trust my timing now, even when you do not fully understand it. Ecclesiastes 3:11 says, "He has made everything beautiful in its time." In its time. Not your fear's timing, not your impatience's timing, my timing. And my timing sees what your emotions cannot. I see the future consequences attached to every decision. I see the hidden motives inside people's hearts. I see the doors that look beautiful but lead to destruction later. And because I love you, I refuse to let impatience lead your destiny. So yes, sometimes I make you wait, not to hurt you, to protect you, to strengthen you, to prepare you. And my child, preparation always feels slower than people want. But when the appointed time finally arrives, everything changes suddenly. That is what you do not realize yet. You think breakthrough always happens slowly because preparation happens slowly. But often, preparation happens gradually while breakthrough arrives quickly. One conversation can change your direction. One opportunity can shift your life. One answered prayer can suddenly undo years of confusion. And when that moment comes, you will realize why I needed your roots strengthened first. Because the blessing approaching your life will require stability. Not panic, not fear, not emotional chaos, stability. And the waiting season has been creating that stability inside you. My beloved child, you are closer than you think. The enemy keeps trying to convince you that the waiting means your future disappeared. But darkness only attacks so aggressively when breakthrough is near. That is why discouragement increased recently. That is why doubt grew louder recently. Because something is shifting. Heaven is already moving, and soon you will see visible evidence that the waiting season was never wasted. You will understand why certain things had to unfold slowly. You will understand why some doors needed to stay closed temporarily. You will understand why your spirit needed deeper healing before the next chapter could begin. And when that understanding fully arrives, you will stop grieving the wait. Because you will realize the waiting season did not delay your destiny. It prepared you for it. So do not lose heart now. Do not stop trusting now. Do not walk away from me right before the breakthrough appears. The process was long, but my promises still stand. The silence was painful, but I never abandoned you inside it. The waiting was heavy, but it was building something eternal inside your spirit. And my beloved, what I prepared for you during this hidden season is greater than you can currently imagine. Because the wait was never the end of your story. It was the preparation for everything that comes next. My beloved child, there is a reason the battle became so intense. There is a reason the attacks grew heavier right when you were trying to heal. There is a reason discouragement suddenly wrapped around your thoughts like a storm you could not escape. Because the enemy truly believed this season would break you. He thought the pressure would finally make you quit. He thought the loneliness would silence your faith. He thought the exhaustion would convince you that your future no longer mattered. He thought the disappointment would make you stop trusting me completely. And if you are honest, there were moments where you almost gave up. Moments where you became tired of fighting invisible battles. Moments where your spirit felt emotionally numb from carrying so much pain for so long. You kept showing strength outwardly, but inwardly you were running out of energy. You became tired of surviving, tired of hoping, tired of trying to stay positive while secretly feeling overwhelmed inside. And the enemy watched those moments carefully. Because darkness studies exhaustion, it studies discouragement, it studies loneliness. It waits for moments where your spirit feels weak enough to surrender. That is why the attacks increased during your most vulnerable seasons. That is why fear whispered loudest at night. That is why anxiety tried to invade your thoughts when nobody else was around. That is why hopelessness kept repeating, "Nothing will ever change." You will always feel this way. You are too damaged now. But my beloved, those voices were never mine. I have never spoken defeat over your future. I have never declared your story finished. And hear me carefully now. The enemy only attacks so aggressively when something valuable is inside you. Darkness does not waste energy fighting empty vessels. The intensity of the battle revealed the importance of your destiny. The attacks revealed your value. The pressure revealed the greatness hidden inside you. And even though you could not fully see it yet, you were surviving battles that were shaping you into someone spiritually dangerous. Isaiah 54:17 says, "No weapon formed against you shall prosper." Notice what I said. Weapons will form, battles will come, storms will rise, but they will not prosper against the person I am strengthening. And my child, you are stronger now than you realize, not because life became easier, but because your spirit learned how to survive darkness without completely losing faith. That kind of strength terrifies the enemy, because once someone discovers they can survive painful seasons with me, fear begins losing its control over them, and fear controlled you for too long. Fear of rejection, fear of failure, fear of abandonment, fear that your life would never improve, fear that your prayers were unanswered. But this season exposed something important. You survived even the things you feared most. You survived heartbreak. You survived betrayal. You survived the loneliness. You survived the waiting. You survived the nights you thought would emotionally destroy you. And the fact that you survived means fear can no longer control you the same way it once did. That is why the enemy keeps trying to attack your thoughts. Because if he cannot destroy your spirit, he will try to confuse your mind. Listen carefully now. This next part matters deeply. One of the greatest battles you faced was not external. It was internal. The battle inside your thoughts. The battle between fear and faith. The battle between hopelessness and trust. The battle between what pain told you and what I promised you. And sometimes, that internal battle exhausted you more than anything happening around you, because outwardly you kept functioning, but inwardly your mind became a battlefield. You questioned yourself constantly, questioned your worth, questioned your future, questioned whether healing was even possible anymore. And every time you tried to move forward, fear reminded you of past disappointments. That is how darkness tries to keep people trapped, not always through destruction, but through discouragement, through exhaustion, through convincing them to stop believing before breakthrough arrives. But my child, the enemy underestimated the strength I placed inside you, because despite everything, you kept getting back up, even after nights filled with anxiety. You still searched for my voice, even after disappointments. You still prayed. Even after betrayal, part of your spirit still longed for healing instead of hatred. That matters more than you realize, because many people allow pain to harden their hearts completely. But you, even wounded, still carried softness inside your spirit, still carried hope, still carried a desire for truth. And that quiet perseverance became proof that my hand remained on your life. My beloved, there were moments where you thought you were barely surviving, but heaven saw a warrior being formed, quietly, painfully, powerfully. You thought the battle was proof that you were losing, but often, the fiercest battles happen right before major spiritual transformation, because darkness fears awakened people. It fears healed people. It fears peaceful people. It fears people who finally realize they no longer need fear to survive. And that awakening is happening inside you now. You are beginning to see things differently, beginning to discern differently, beginning to recognize what drains your spirit and what brings peace. That awareness threatens everything darkness once used to control you. And yes, the enemy will still try to intimidate you sometimes. There will still be days where fear returns, days where discouragement whispers again, days where exhaustion tries to settle over your spirit. But hear me clearly now. Temporary battles do not cancel eternal promises. You belong to me, and darkness cannot steal what I have already claimed. That does not mean storms disappear instantly. It means storms no longer have authority over your destiny. Look at David. Before becoming king, he was hunted, rejected, attacked, forced into hiding. Imagine how confusing that season must have felt. David was chosen by heaven, yet constantly pursued by danger. But the attacks did not prove David lacked destiny. The attacks confirmed it, because the enemy always fights hardest against people carrying purpose. And my child, you carry purpose too. That is why the battle became personal. That is why peace became targeted. That is why exhaustion attacked your spirit repeatedly. Because if the enemy could keep you emotionally drained, you might never fully awaken to who you truly are. But despite everything, you are awakening anyway, and that changes everything. My beloved, the enemy thought this season would destroy your confidence forever. Instead, it forced you to discover strength deeper than emotions, strength deeper than circumstances, strength rooted in my presence. And once someone learns how to survive through my strength, they become dangerous to darkness, because storms no longer frighten them the same way. Rejection no longer defines them the same way. Fear no longer controls them the same way. You are entering that season now. A season where your peace grows stronger than your panic, where discernment becomes stronger than confusion, where faith becomes stronger than fear, not because life suddenly becomes perfect, but because your spirit finally understands who carries you through the storms, and that understanding changes everything. 2 Timothy 1:7 says, "For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and love and a sound mind." A sound mind, not constant torment, not endless fear, not emotional chaos controlling your thoughts daily. I am restoring your mind now, restoring your peace, restoring your confidence, restoring your ability to trust again. And yes, the process takes time, because years of fear do not disappear overnight. But healing is happening quietly, deeply, permanently, and one day soon, you will look back at this season and realize something incredible. The battle that was supposed to destroy you actually revealed how strong you had become. The attacks that were meant to silence you actually deepened your faith. The storms that were meant to break your spirit actually pushed you closer to me. And the enemy who thought you would quit here will watch you walk into the very future he tried to convince you would never happen. My beloved child, do not fear the battle anymore. The battle was never proof of abandonment. It was proof that heaven knew your future carried something worth fighting for. And despite everything sent against you, you are still standing, still breathing, still listening, still believing, and that alone proves something powerful. Darkness did not win because I never left your side. Not in the storm, not in the exhaustion, not in the fear, not in the breaking. I was there through all of it, strengthening you quietly, protecting you invisibly, preparing you completely. And my beloved, the season where fear controlled your life is beginning to end, because the warrior inside you has finally awakened, and this is only the beginning.